Really getting into it. Good morning, everyone. It's Saturday, November 6th, 67 degrees outside, and I got a lot of circles in my eyeglasses there. Trying out new technology, so I'm going to dim the lights in a little bit. But good morning. My name is Jerry Glochet Jr. I'm Chief of Staff for the Executive Office of the Tribal Chairwoman of White Mountain Apache Tribe. And without further ado, let's welcome our Honorable Chairwoman Gwendena Lee-Gatewood. Hey, Chairwoman, how you doing?
Hey, I'm doing good. It's a little bit more chillier here than where you're at. So, hey, Mariah Cheese Bro, good morning from Fort Hood, Texas. Love to listen and keep up with the reservation from afar. Thank you for tuning in. David Frawley, our 18-wheeler driver. He's in Texas now. Just the other day, he was in Iowa or something. Yeah, good morning.
Wow.
And to all of you out there, it's a quiet day here in the neighborhood. I saw 2 cars leave and I was outside and it was kind of cute. One was an elderly lady and she was driving and then she's like, and then she goes like this and then I just waved at her, but she was just driving down to another street. So I don't know what was going on, but I think she was like, oh no, lockdown, and here I am driving, so. Michael Ray, good morning. So anyway, thank you.
Well, Chairwoman, the opening video revealed that indeed it is November, which means it's Native American Heritage Month. And so we just wanted to share a little bit about culture here at White Mountain Apache Tribe. And we saw a song, or we heard a song from the late Harris Burnett. At the end of the show, we'll have one of his, the people that's taken over, the new medicine man, taking over his group there. And so we saw images of massage and sunrise dance and food exchange and crown dancing, all kinds of stuff with song, dance, and prayer. So I hope your month and everyone out there, the month of November, will be outstanding as you are Native American or Indigenous. But nonetheless, this is one of the best times of the year. And so, Chairwoman, do you have any announcements before we begin the program?
Just real quickly, late last night at about 10 o'clock p.m., the Tribal Council passed Resolution 11-2021-224, allowing wood cutting during this lockdown. And it's only for home use only. It's not meant to sell. And you have to have a valid wood permit. So that doesn't mean 20 people get to go, wood cutting. That's not the reason. But we recall in our prior lockdowns that we did make wood cutting essential, and we needed to clarify and get that situated. So we had some less than pleased tribal members about the woodcutting situation, but we got it resolved. So all of you woodcutters out there who have a valid wood permit, you can go wood cutting today. A chij because kai ni wood permit olin yu jandas akunda hola do era noltin ora bi wani olin o no hinant ait ena you want yadalti o you want da isohne la a noha belcho tank atjo tehe sonol pin shindini han a nice sauce la you chij yabini la you das ako yi kadiga wholesale alza resolution 11/2021-224 wala ay ibn nadalti. Thank you.
-224. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, good. Did you say that was last night?
Yeah, last night at about 9:55, Councilman Beach called. Councilman Velasquez was texting, same with Councilman Tisay, Councilwoman Bush. I talked to the vice. We were using the method of technology, and we had to square it away, and we needed to correct that. So we apologize. We did correct it before the lockdown officially began. So we're pleased with that, and we need signatures, Jerry, whenever we vote on something. It's a unified group. All of us 11 vote on a matter that affects the White Mountain Apache tribe, and that's how our constitution and our government is run. And so we couldn't just say, yeah, that's okay by phone. We have to have valid signatures. And so we were using the method of using your phone to scan, because your phones can scan now, and emailing the document. Some couldn't scan those items. And so before the lockdown, I quickly drove to Councilwoman Bush's house, got her signature. Councilman Beach had already gotten his sent off. So we were just, getting that in. So we're glad that we completed that process.
Okay. Well, wood cutting is allowed. So tonight at 10 p.m. and all the way till, do you know when? Sunday or Monday morning at 5 a.m., I suppose?
Monday, 5 in the morning. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
So
And another announcement I want to quickly do is that Annie, lockdown. Annie Jr. If we could have Annie Jr. For all of you out there to see. This is a presentation by White Mountain Performing Arts. It's a new nonprofit performing arts group. Becky Evans is the director. And here's some show times for you all to go and check out Annie Jr. The kids are working hard and doing their parts. There are 2 groups of lead roles. It's only $5, and you can buy your tickets online in advance, and there's the address there. You can contact them at wmperformingarts@gmail.com for further performance and summer camp information. So it's a very good production. So I encourage you to go on ahead and check out Annie Jr. I plan on going one of those dates. So I love Annie.
Okay.
So.
Well, good. I really apologize to the people. I know it's distracting on my eyes. It's distracting to me. Melissa Cooley Apsay sent something earlier from Seattle. And yes, my son is being honored today in Seattle for his mural. He's Apache. Tlingit and Filipino. I'm so proud. Tlingit. I'm so proud City of Seattle chose him. All right. So, Melissa, are you able to send a photo or something to Chairwoman's Facebook, or I don't know, or somehow I'd like to see it. Well, we can figure that out. Maybe next week we'll do that. Okay, next week. So, Chairwoman, Falcon football we could have been celebrating today with the possible victory last night, but it got canceled. And why? Because of the rising numbers of COVID. And COVID has been interrupting life as we know it. It interrupted Falcons' season of first round 2A state playoffs in football. And that was an exciting time. They had a big victory over their own rival, who's always been champions and just run over Alchese with the score. But anyway, that got canceled, forfeit. And we are now in lockdown. Council made a press release, resolution, lots happening. And guess what? Rising numbers. I think we were way over 200 people, probably more now. Do we have a dashboard? Yes, right there, right on cue.
There we go. Yeah.
What can you say about that?
261 positives. It's fast rising. We were at 184, I believe, but just a couple days ago, and already we're at 261. 43 people daily positive increase, and the number of deaths that we were at was at 52. As you can see now on the dashboard, it's 53. Di danos ini ka naltihi COVID-19 han pedarul taki beilzahi ola. Kachu kashijeki jonzakyo no oilte 261. Ay COVID-19 bitsage darabilseki 52 yui kahinik ari 53. Daniel sa ay nabin tio nuicha onatsa ay dojora Elmatijo da hale no tako stohibiwa is it nantan got no hichahatzi wheelto EOC a digi leyu lockdown banai kayola tehe no nasulta tehe no spi ka nalti hibiwa golzel a hehe a shonk wayo nasulta di danos leyu dako da Monday jola doran zako no ha alzara awa here's some weekend lockdown information. It'll be from November 6th to the 7th, and if we could have Carlos and Derek and EOC join us, maybe they could go over this dashboard with us at this time. If you're there, guys, if you can go over this for the public.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. You can, go ahead and go over this dashboard while it's up on the screen.
Sure. Again, first of all, thank you to the Chairwoman for inviting us onto your show today. My name is Derek Leslie. I work with the Waimana Apache Tribe Emergency Operations Center. And so, as you noted a bit ago, we are seeing an increase in our COVID-19 cases on the Fort Apache Indian Reservation. As such, we met with IHS on Monday of this week, and then twice on Wednesday. And subsequently, a recommendation was released to initiate 2 weekend lockdowns and to go over the dashboard that you have there. So, some of the things that are coming forth from those recommendations include, like I said, the weekend lockdowns commencing today and tomorrow, and again next weekend, November 13th and 14th. It will start on Friday at 10 p.m. and run through Monday morning at 5 a.m. So during the lockdown, hunting with a current hunting tag is allowed. Religious gatherings are allowed. If you have to leave your home for any medical visit, those are definitely allowed. Employment, we definitely do encourage you to have your proper work attire. And then, like as the Chairwoman noted earlier, added to the list is the wood cutting for personal home use only. So we will be updating that, and it has gone out, it is being updated now. And so in consistency with past lockdowns, all funerals and wakes are prohibited with the exception of grave site services. And then along these same lines, all who test positive for COVID-19 must quarantine along with their entire household. So in addition to that, children are hereby restricted from entering non-school and non-daycare related businesses and workplaces. And then, of course, all residents are encouraged to renew efforts to sanitize home and offices. And so, one of the big things that we are noticing, coming in meeting with IHS, in having those meetings with them, we all have become laxed. Not only one person or one family is guilty of this. I think we all are guilty of this to some extent. And so the EOC is stepping up our efforts to increase our public health educational campaign in terms of getting that message across to our reservation residents. And so we definitely do appreciate the cooperation of our community. And we, again, this is something we definitely didn't want. We thought that we were over with lockdowns, but the situation, as dire as it is, it did warrant some sort of drastic action. And so we are hopeful that these lockdowns will work as they have in the past. And so we hope that we are at the peak of this COVID-19, this current wave that we're in, that we're at peaking and we're plateauing, and eventually we'll start decreasing, is our hope here at the EOC. But it's really hard to gauge that until after you start the cases start declining. And so we definitely are cautiously optimistic about our future going forward.
Okay. Derek, are you seeing any increase in vaccines? We'll ask Dr. Close here in a bit, and maybe he could join us at this time too.
Good morning.
Hey, good morning. I just asked Derek if he was aware of any increases in the vaccine, so maybe I'll turn that question over to you. Feel free to answer when you can, but thank you, Dr. Close, for joining us. He is from our local White River Indian Health Service unit, has been instrumental along with all of our other healthcare providers there in leading the charge in battling COVID-19. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Good morning. And it's an honor to be on today and discuss all these important topics, as I know the community is being profoundly affected, not only by COVID-19, but the implications of the community mitigation measures that we're doing to try and combat COVID-19. So I don't have, to your first question, I don't have specific numbers today on increasing vaccinations, but vaccines are increasing every week. Thousands upon thousands of White Mountain Apache tribal members have been vaccinated over the past year. And now with the rollout of vaccine availability for children ages 5 to 11, we've opened up increased vaccine appointments at our subspecialty building, the SSB building. And it was hopping yesterday. It was very busy. A lot of people were bringing their kids in to get vaccinated, and that's a great thing.
Oh, so good. So the vaccines have arrived for the kids.
I thought they did. I knew the vaccine clinic was very busy yesterday, and I might be speaking ahead. I can't confirm whether yesterday's vaccine clinic was busy because of 5 to 11-year-olds specifically, but we did see a lot of people 12 and older as well, which we've had that vaccine.
Probably the flu shot too. The flu shots.
Yes.
People are wanting to get the flu shots. Yes. So Dr. Close, tell us, people are messaging me. They're calling the office. Why are you doing a lockdown? People are getting vaccinated. You wanted them to get vaccinated. We should be off on our own doing whatever we want. But as Derek mentioned earlier, all of us in some form or another are getting a little complacent, meaning it's okay, I won't wear a mask today, or I won't wash my hands after I went to the grocery store. Tell us the health professionals' point of view and what you're seeing at the hospital, because you guys are the ones that are treating our patients and doing what you're doing with contact tracing and the high risk team. Tell us about that.
Yeah. So there's a lot to unpack there, and I think when the community and the state and the country have everyone's tired of lockdowns, and And so, you know, when going over the rise in case numbers we're seeing now, I think there's several influencing factors that are leading to the rise in cases that we're seeing today. And one of it is cases are on the rise in Arizona. And there's been a big rise in cases in the surrounding communities around the Fort Apache Indian Reservation. And that is being largely fueled by low vaccination rates off the reservation. And so, you know, that type of external and outside pressure, even under the best circumstances, is going to lead to a spillover effect of cases coming onto the reservation and among our community members served by the hospital. So that's one issue. It's just under the best of circumstances, if everything even goes right on the Fort Apache Indian Reservation, if there is just a swell of cases around it, that spillover effect is going to lead to an increase in cases on the reservation. It's also getting colder. People are spending a little bit more time indoors. That makes it easier for respiratory illnesses to spread. That's not just only true for COVID, but it's true for things like influenza and RSV as well. And it's a sign that plenty of people in the community need to be vaccinated. You know, I mean, despite the excellent vaccine efforts that have been made in the community, we just got to the point where the vaccine's available for 5 to 11-year-olds. And that's a couple thousand individuals on the reservation. And so that's not trivial. That's still a big proportion of the population. So there remains a lot of people, kids, including 12 to 18-year-olds, who still need to be vaccinated in order to decrease the number of overall pool of susceptible individuals on the reservation who could acquire COVID and spread it to another person. And then in general, just as you said and the EOC said, everyone's gotten a little relaxed. We had a pretty good summer. Things were pretty calm in June and July. Everyone started to feel better about maybe not wearing their mask as much, not cleaning their house as much, or washing their hands as often. And I think we're all, like Derek said, we're all kind of guilty of that a little bit. And I just think we need to increase our vigilance in terms of mask wearing, hand washing, to avoid contracting the virus ourselves, and then also importantly to reducing our risk to spread it to other people.
And if you are vaccinated and you happen to catch COVID, because vaccination's not 100%, it's not a 100% guarantee. There's a small chance, you know, if you're vaccinated, that you might catch this. And if you do, the how would I say it? You're not as sick as much. It will affect you less because your body has developed its immunity as much as it can to it.
That's right. And so, yeah, exactly. I think vaccines work, bottom line. They reduce your individual risk of getting really sick, you know, from getting severe COVID, ending up in the hospital or dying. And they do decrease your risk of transmitting the virus. So while vaccines are not 100%, no vaccine to 100% effective, the COVID vaccine is no different. It's not 100% effective from you picking up the virus, and it's not 100% effective in preventing you from passing it to other people. But it does significantly reduce that risk of both of those things tremendously. And that's why vaccine has been so effective in reducing the spread of COVID-19 on the reservation over the past 9 months as vaccine rates have increased. And it's worth noting that the hospitalizations of those who are getting COVID this time around are way less likely to end up in the hospital. So those who get COVID, way less likely to end up in the hospital than historically we've seen. And we think that a big part is because of, you know, a lot of people are vaccinated. So vaccines work, but they work best when there are more people vaccinated. So I think this is a time for us to revisit the need to increase vaccination in the community. Among those who aren't vaccinated, talk to your provider, talk to your community members. You know, we're always open to have the discussion for those who want to hear more about it. And if you know people who aren't vaccinated and you are, then please engage with those individuals and try and encourage them to get vaccinated.
All right. So one of the things I was going to say, if you don't mind, Chairwoman, I'm wondering if Walmart has a lockdown, or Pine Top, or Phoenix. Are they in lockdown? I doubt it. We are in lockdown. We are a sovereign nation. On July 4, either this past year or the year before, we went into lockdown.
Mhm.
And I think we were the only one in lockdown. I didn't hear anything from Chicago or Washington, D.C. or Florida, Texas, California, but we were in lockdown. And guess what? To me, I think it worked. The numbers went down and it got as low as 2 or 1. We almost had it at 0. I could have got the haircut, but that's as close as we got. And now, what, 264? Oh my gosh. It's maybe at every household, or at least one in every neighborhood on our homeland here. And so people, I know you probably don't like this. Some of you probably upset, but just think the whole picture, okay? I mean, home is where your heart is at, your family, you're safe and your loved ones are all there. Just stay safe. Just be glad that somebody cares. I don't know if anybody cares about me, but I'm glad the chairwoman and the vice chairman and the tribal council at least cares about me. So they don't want me to get sick. I've been tested about 8 or 9 times. I think there's still half of a stick stuck behind my head yet, but all those times, 0. I'm happy. I'm so happy that I never got this thing called COVID. I don't want it. I'm not curious about it. Don't want it, don't need it, and I sure don't care about it. So, but I sure don't want my loved ones to get it. My sister got it and she texted me saying, I cannot breathe, and I was like, oh man, is it that bad? Councilman from our tribe, his name is Alvin DeClay Sr. He likes to play basketball, go all over the place. He's active, seemed like a healthy guy. And I understand he was laid up in the hospital for some time and still taking oxygen, per another councilman saying it on the radio. So I guess this COVID thing must be real. This COVID thing can interrupt life. And so we should be mindful and go ahead and adjust and try to fight this thing, And so thank you, Dr. Close, IHS. Man, you guys are state-of-the-art facility. I'm serious. I'm not making this up. Early on, about when this thing started, we live in an area here at North Fork where we can hear the helicopters and airplane fly over our house. And that means, another one going to get flown out. And sometimes sooner or afterwards, we hear very bad news. But lately, I don't hear as many helicopters anymore. And I'm hearing that rather our facility pays very close attention to each patient every cycle, every 10 minutes, 15 minutes, and they are making an impact. Whereas maybe in another place, that patient would be just a number because there's a lot of other people in that same condition. But here, oh my gosh, thank you on behalf of White Mountain Apache Tribe, from my family, from me, Dr. Close, would you let all your colleagues know just how grateful, how fortunate we are? I just want to say thank you. And that is it. Thanks.
No, thank you, of course. And I'd like to follow up on your comments on the lockdowns. I agree. When I look back at July 2020 and January 2020, 2021, the tribal council instituted lockdowns and various combination of shutdowns and lockdowns over the winter. That when I look at the epi curve, which is the daily case counts and weekly case counts, and you sort of overlay the lockdowns on them, I believe you do see an impact. And those impacts take time. Lockdown today does not produce a reduction in cases tomorrow, because there is a window of time in which it takes people to acquire COVID, develop symptoms, the incubation period, the time they bring themselves in for testing or are identified by our team, and turn into positive numbers. So, I thought they were profoundly effective in the past. And that's what led to, the big reduction in July, or at least contributed to it. I don't think anybody can say that a given lockdown is the single difference maker. But I do like to think that lockdowns sort of snap all of us to attention that we need to be more vigilant and watching after ourselves, watching after our friends and our family. And it does help hit the pause button on the current spread. I think if you're looking at the 100, nearly 200 cases in the past week that we've seen, if you were to snap your fingers and make all the COVID immediately stop spreading, all those 200 people, a big proportion of them had probably already passed on to somebody else. So there's a spread that is going to turn and move forward. And so a lockdown can be very effective at stymieing and slowing the spread of what's already in the community. And that's what we really need to do before the system gets to a point where we start to worry about how much can the healthcare system absorb in terms of pure cases and sick cases. And so, I'm optimistic that this could help us turn the corner and head into the holidays in a much better position. So I believe in them, and I think that when you look at the public health literature, the two things that that really impact the effectiveness of a lockdown is how soon are you to put it into place and how long does it take? If too little, too late, and the lockdown doesn't work. And I think that's what we've seen in other jurisdictions around the country is they wait until the situation is dire and then a lockdown is not going to work. But if you decisive action early on and then a commitment to a lockdown over a period of time can make a big difference.
Right.
Well, good. We had a question from a viewer about antibodies. Could we have that back up? That Dr. Close could probably answer for you. What if I have antibodies that kept me from getting COVID? Do they help you not get COVID or?
So that's a good question. It's actually a really relevant question because some increasing evidence is coming out on how protective, sometimes those are referred to as native antibodies, not native as in you're Native American, but native to your body. So if you've previously gotten COVID and recovered, you do develop antibodies that can neutralize and protect you from the virus in the future. It turns out, though, that immunization-induced antibodies are 5 times more effective at protecting you from COVID in the future than antibodies you get from prior infection. So that's why we encourage even those who have gotten COVID and have recovered from it, we still encourage them to get vaccinated. And in fact, there's also evidence that those who've gotten COVID and vaccinated have some of the best antibody production and protection of anybody out there in the population.
And if you've gotten COVID before, how long should you wait before you get your vaccination?
Now you just have to wait until you're recovered, and that's usually about 14 days. We used to make people wait several months, but now, so long as you've moved into that recovery phase, we like to get the vaccine sooner rather than later, because we find especially when there's a lot of cases in the community, it could just be another month or 6 weeks before you run into COVID again at the post office, at the grocery store.
Right.
Yeah.
And would you be able to let us know when IHS will be offering the children's vaccine? And I know it's not the same dose; it's a smaller dose.
That's right.
But there seems to be some misinformation going around that it's the same dosage. It's not, because it's meant for children.
That's right. Just like children's Tylenol and adult Tylenol, right? We're not given the same thing. Children are not just small adults, is what we say often in pediatrics. So I'm a board certified pediatrician myself, and so the Pfizer version of the COVID vaccine for children 5 to 11 is not only a smaller volume, but it's also a different and smaller concentration. That studied only in children, and it's shown to be highly effective and incredibly safe. The the data that's been shared through the FDA and the CDC showed a robust attention to safety in the trials that were done for children, and should be very, very safe and highly effective, over 90% effective at preventing vaccinated children from developing symptomatic COVID. And symptomatic COVID, anytime you can reduce that, you reduce the likelihood that they transmit it to somebody else, their parents, their grandparents, other children at school who also have grandparents. So I think, yes. So happy to answer any questions on that I can. And we hope to have a big community vaccination clinic will be on November 20th at the hospital. And we also have the SSB, the subspecialty building at IHS, has a robust vaccine clinic Monday through Friday, 9 to 4, except holidays. Got a couple of those coming up this month. And anybody can make an appointment. They can call any day, 338-5549. So if they just keep that number in their head, and they should just keep calling until someone gives an appointment to get their kids vaccinated. Yes, sir.
Would the producer show the black colored flyer once again, all those bullet points? All right, right there in the left side, it says hunting is part of the exceptions so long as you have a current hunting tag. Would you show here what I have? Put the camera back on me again. Okay, look at this. Ta-da! Chairwoman, I just noticed turkey tag starts today. Today,
oh, no, you're missing out.
And I got the tags, so guess where I'm going as soon as this show is over. And so just FYI, but I think it's a good adjustment you guys did, allowing the wood cutting. But woodcutters, please don't abuse it, man. Come on, don't abuse this. Anyway, best wishes and stay warm. So go get the wood. If you really, really need it, go get the wood. Don't go anywhere else. All right, Chairwoman. Well, how about anything else from the EOC? We okay with them? Who's all there? It looks like they got the whole group, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, the group is there. We wanted them to go over the alert system. I think people need to hear that we're starting up with the alert system again. And Derek, whatever you can incorporate. And Dr. Close, I don't know if you're busy on the job. If you are, you can go ahead and sign off. If not, you're welcome to join us and cover this portion here.
Happy to stay on and answer any questions. And I just sent you a message, but I'll just say it now because I was worried I was saying something wrong 10 minutes ago, but we do have the vaccines for the 5 to 11-year-olds, and we started yesterday.
Yay!
So awesome. Yay! All right.
And so I really just want parents to know, it's good for parents to have questions. We, as your healthcare facility, are here to answer those questions. And so any concerns parents have about vaccinating their kid, bring them to your provider, bring them to me. I'll talk to whoever needs to need some reassurances that for what is best in the best interest of their child and their family. And I'll just say, I don't have any children 5 to 11, but I do have a 3.5-year-old, a 1.5-year-old, and a 2-week-old.
Oh, yay!
And people ask me if I vaccinate my kids.
It looks like you're getting a lot of sleep. How can that be?
Well, I can't complain. My wife definitely gets half the sleep I do. But I tell people, if I could vaccinate my kids, I absolutely would. If the moment, there are studies ongoing right now for 6-month to 5-year-olds. And, I'll just say, speaking for myself, if I was given the opportunity, I would absolutely vaccinate all 3 of those kids as soon as they're it's available for them. I'd probably try and enroll them in trials if the trials weren't so far away. I can't drive to Phoenix every week to have my kids in trials, but that's how much I believe in the effectiveness and safety of these vaccines.
Well, awesome. It's very important. So all of you parents out there, no hichigashe, بواتس أشكيتون تاتي إذا ننتان وجاتي لا أي جون بابا إيدي كنيشكاهي أو زي أوان أشكونا تراس إسنا بران هني ليون تأ كي جيزو لدي تسبريشني هو أي لأي أتأ جهنا جريوشو ni janjel kena da hau ta bana daus an le yo be jizole da ida hau asthma da hinti hau hanari yoshi editis baba idion eti lege big no ta everyone ana di shorta tan la ko EOC get Dr. Close ko ben Derek, the floor is yours. If you can go ahead and go over the alert system. And Dr. Close, thank you for letting the public know that we do have vaccines available. That is truly an awesome thing for our children. So, Derek.
Good morning. Can you guys hear me?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay. Good morning again. This is Derek Leslie with the Tribe's Emergency Operations Center. So in addition to activating the lockdowns this weekend and next weekend, the Tribal Council did give the EOC the authority to pause or unpause the alert system. And so just to refresh in everyone's memory, so anytime there are a total of 50 new COVID-19 cases during a period of 3 consecutive days, the medium alert is activated. This activation sets off a 72-hour shelter in place, which will begin on 8 p.m. on the next day immediately following the 3-day period in which 50 new COVID-19 cases have been identified. So again, anytime there are 50 new COVID-19 cases during 3 consecutive days, the medium alert system is triggered, which would then be followed by a 72-hour shelter in place. Along those same lines, anytime there are 80 or more COVID-19 cases identified during a period of 5 consecutive days, then the high alert on the alert system would be triggered. And this basically sets off a 96-hour shelter in place for our community. And then there is, in the event that the high alert is triggered during the medium alert, a period of 4 days will be added to the 72-hour shelter in place. And so basically the magic number, I guess you could say, is 50 new positive cases within 3-day periods. And so right now that's still on pause. We're going to see how this lockdown next week and the following weekend's lockdowns, how they fare out. But the EOC, the council did give the discretion to the EOC to sort of activate the alert system as needed. And so we will definitely be sharing that information with the community here shortly. But I just wanted to remind people that, anytime we have 50 new cases within 3-day period, it would trigger a 72-hour shelter in place. And so we definitely will be monitoring the situation. And I did just want to add to the conversation, the last time the tribe was in a lockdown was in January 7th to the 10th of this year. So we've obviously come about 10 or 11 months since our last lockdown. And we, as of last week, we had been on lockdown for 43 days, not including this week and next weekend. And so we are monitoring this situation day by day. And we, like I said earlier, we hope that we are beginning to plateau and will eventually start declining in our numbers. And we remain cautiously optimistic. We definitely do see the lockdowns as a last resort. We try to exhaust all options before triggering any sort of lockdown, because we know, no one is a lot of people are not a fan of this. And so that has been evident with the volume of calls we have received. We have our elders who are definitely glad that this is happening. And then we have those disgruntled community members who obviously have their part in all of this. We do take all of their concerns and we do note them, and they are taken into consideration. I also wanted to let people know that, we are currently reviewing the White Mountain Apache Tribe's vaccination policy in light of OSHA's new guidelines that came out on Thursday. So we are working with the Attorney General's office on updating our vaccination policy. And just, there was a question earlier about our vaccination and how we're doing. as of yesterday, we were at 68% vaccination rate for the White Mountain Apache tribe and users of the White River Service Unit. And so we are at 68%. Our goal was 70%. So we will be reviewing what that means for the tribe moving forward. And I don't know if there are any other questions, but like I said, we will be sharing the alert system here shortly, and we will be posting it on our Facebook page and on our dashboards throughout the reservation.
Derek, you guys are busy today working on those dashboards and correcting the wood cutting portion. We will not get a dashboard update for today or tomorrow, but we will on Monday, correct?
Correct. Yes. So we are monitoring that. We have, we'll probably reach out to Dr. Close at some point, just to get an update. But no, the dashboard will not be released until Monday unless we decide to change that. But it's really, we've come to expect those on Monday mornings. And so we'll release the dashboard accordingly.
Okay. Well, I appreciate all that you do working with IHS, Johns Hopkins, CHR. I know everybody is fatigued, just tired of COVID-19. We get a lot of comments about masks, and Sholo's not doing a lockdown, Pine Top's not. Why do we have to? That kind of thing. This is home. This is our home. We don't want anyone to get sick. So Jerry's wearing the mask. Wear a mask when you're around others. And, when you're at home with your own family, that's different. But when you don't know if the other person has the virus. So, and just be vigilant in washing your hands.
I think that,
yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, just the other day, Jerry and I got stopped by a gentleman who was under the influence of alcohol. And he had his mask just kind of sitting below his chin. And as he was talking to me, you could tell that he wasn't being careful of how he was speaking. So Jerry reminded him to have his his mask put on, because his saliva was obviously, going through the air. So you just never know. I think we lost the EOC. I don't know if they got connected.
Yeah.
There they go.
Can you hear us?
Yeah, there you are.
Yeah. So we also definitely want to highlight, our high risk team is definitely busy right now. Last check, we had about 90 homes on quarantine because they had someone in the home who was positive. And so JT Nashio and the crew at CHR are doing a phenomenal job. I think that, a lot of their work often goes unnoticed, but, they're out in the field going to positive homes and helping with groceries, and then, the high risk. I think what separates us apart from a lot of other EOCs is that follow-up care. And I think Jerry sort of alluded to this earlier, CHR, IHS, Johns Hopkins are doing such a phenomenal job in following up with our COVID positive homes. And they're able to capture those high risk people and usher them for medical care. And so I think that's been a critical component of the tribe's response to COVID-19. And I know that, they have been getting a lot of recognition, and, I just think that they're doing a phenomenal job in addition to our contact tracing efforts through IHS, through Johns Hopkins, and through CHR. And I know that in talking to a lot of other tribes across the country, White Mountain, it seems that White Mountain has one of the best tribal and IHS relationship in so far that we have been told of. We meet every week with IHS and Johns Hopkins. We meet even, and if more as needed, but I think the hallmark of our overall response has been the collaboration between so many different tribal and non-tribal agencies that this is really a testament to collaboration. And I know a key component of that is IHS, Dr. Close, Michelle Martinez, and Brian Campbell, and we even have IHS area on our phone conversations. And so I think that we the end is getting closer and closer. The light at the end of the tunnel is getting brighter, and we just one last hurdle on that way to the end. But we are still in the middle of a worldwide pandemic.
You might want to add on the isolation quarantine site.
Oh yeah, so the tribe still does have the isolation and quarantine site. It is located behind Burger King, across the tribal education department. There are 2 numbers there. And Brenda, what is their number to call? 594-9236. So if anyone has been tested positive for COVID-19, they can give that 9236 594-9236 a call, and then they can make arrangements to be transported to the isolation and quarantine site. So we definitely are doing all that we can to ensure that we have a safer community for all of us. And I know, like I said, not many people are happy with this current lockdown, and we understand that. And here is a little snippet of our daily increases. As you can see there, our case counts have been going up. It started at 17 on the 27th, and as of yesterday, I had increased to 43. Our total number vaccinated with the first dose has been 10,911. The second dose has been 10,338, and the third booster dose has been 1,863, and 1,271 people have received the Johnson & Johnson vaccine. And obviously, we will update this now to include 5 to 11-year-olds who are now beginning to receive the Pfizer COVID-19 vaccine. We are monitoring situations all across the country and the world, even just to see how trends are coming and will affect our people. But we definitely appreciate the CDC. We have some colleagues there that we work with and give us updates on what is the best practice. And I don't know if people remember, but Dr. Peacock and Bob, who were here last summer, they have been really instrumental beyond their time with us here. So it's just an overall working together. We definitely thank the Tribal Council for doing their part. We've had to make some tough decisions, but at the end of the day, it's with everyone in mind. And so I don't know if there are any more questions.
Derek, the previous screen, Mr. Producer, at the very bottom, I saw the COVID variant to the far right in the green circle, 190. What is that?
Yeah, thank you for bringing that up. So we also, in collaboration with IHS, we do keep a COVID variant surveillance in place. There are, as of right now, there are 4 dominant mutations of the COVID-19 virus, the coronavirus. The Alpha, there are currently 23 confirmed cases on the reservation. There are currently 0 of the Beta mutation. There are 10 of the Gamma variant, and the Delta variant is at 190. That was as of 9/29/21. And obviously, since then, the state's numbers have been going up, so they haven't been able to give us a breakdown of those cases. But, just in looking at across the country, the Delta variant is the primary the variant that's causing all these surges around the country, and that certainly seems to be the case here in White Mountain. And as we all know, the Delta variant is more contagious than a lot of the other variants, the other 3 variants there. And mutations continue to happen, and every day we're seeing mentions of new variants. And so we definitely continue to monitor that in collaborations with IHS. And I don't know if Dr. Close has any more information or something more he would like to add to what I've said. Dr. Close?
No, I think you hit it all. I mean, I think that sometimes a lot of people the media certainly pays a lot of attention to the variants. You always hear about new variant in Great Britain, new variant in Poland. And so I think it gets an outsized amount of attention. in the media, but we track it as closely as we can. It just has a significant delay. And at least since early August, almost exclusively the only variant we've seen circulating in the community here has been Delta, which is consistent with what's being seen across the United States. 99+% of all new cases are Delta.
Okay.
Right.
Well, excellent review of COVID-19, why we're doing this. So thank you, guests. Thank you for joining us today. Thank you so much. We're at the 2 minutes to the 11 o'clock hour, Jerry. You got to go turkey hunting.
That was fast.
Yeah, pretty fast.
So you know what? I guess the bottom line is it's all up to us. I think you said this before, Chairwoman, that the virus stays put, but it's the people that move it around, and that's what we've been doing. Now we got to move around in a different and better way, and that's called leadership. And thank you for stepping up to the table to bring this to the forefront. I believe I'm going to echo what everybody said. We've all become too lax, and so we just got to up our game, every one of us, and just get back to the basics. You know, I had the hand sanitizer here, but that stuff works pretty good. So keep using that, people. And gosh, the indoor stuff with, as a goal, what you could do, people, is, that Thanksgiving's coming up, right? And it's a good time to be with family and eat and watch football and whatever. But if the house is divided with COVID and quarantine, that's going to interrupt it. So between now, just starting now, let's just accept that this COVID is here to be here until we fight it off. And so let's start today. Chairwoman.
Yeah. Today, while you're in lockdown, what the heck could I do is probably what you're thinking. You could watch movies with your kids, teach your children how to bake a new dish. I'm planning on hoping to rake my yard, clean my house even a little bit more better. I have a lot of things to do, so I'm going to be very busy indoors and probably outdoors, and just a time to, just spend time with your family, and just remember, just don't get complacent. Wayo nasalta. Do nil adida shi zel saya naitan zin shin dini bi wani odlin o aralti guys an indeed an clean do ra hayo sound o sa aran la. There's no other place like White Mountain Apache tribe. We're our family, and family takes care of one another, especially when there's health issues which COVID-19 has brought to our land, and we meet it head on. Working together with our health officials and each other, so we can keep doing this to work on that. So thank you.
Chairwoman, while you're cleaning your yard outside, you live right by the mountain there. If you see a turkey, call me. Be very quiet. I'm hunting turkeys.
Good old Elmer Fudd there. Fudd.
So this Thursday, we'll be at San Carlos for Apache Alliance Summit. We'll be back before the weekend to honor the lockdown or to abide by it. And golf tournaments on Friday at San Carlos. We got a team, and so hopefully they'll bring back a cup, the championship. We had housing, some videos to show the people, but it kind of goes hand in hand with Veterans Day, which is next week on the 11th. And so maybe the next week's Facebook show, we can focus on a lot on the veterans, huh? We could do that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And I just got this alert. The House passed an infrastructure bill last night. The $550 billion bipartisan infrastructure bill.
Wow.
228 to 206. Well past into the midnight hour. So
the reason why I say wow so much, Chairwoman, is we've had some high hopes in that for broadband, and it seemed like a lot of stuff was contingent on this and this and this and this, and now maybe things can move now.
Yeah.
And
I'm
so
probably pixelated. It's because my internet isn't that great. But if broadband for all the homes, for the hospital can be improved, that'll be great. Good old Annie here. So, but yeah, we need broadband and we need it bad. So
Okay. Well, Native American Heritage Month. So next show, I'll think of something clever to share about Native at White Mountain Apache Tribe to the world. Just for example, no whistling at night. Somebody sneezes twice. All that stuff. We'll kind of do little tidbit on that. But for now, I guess, Chairwoman, do you have anything else? If not, probably closing prayer, huh?
yeah, we can go right into the closing prayer. So, and don't forget to check out Annie.
When is that again, Chairwoman?
No,
Next
Thursday,
week?
November 18. Yeah, here
Thursday.
we go. November 18,
Good.
19, 20, 21, or 20th, sorry. You can go to the Thursday one and you can also go to the Friday one, 7 p.m. It'll be a good show. Good old Annie there.
I don't think there's a
Annie
lockdown
Cleveland.
on those Saturdays, the third Saturday from now. So
Oh yeah,
I think
we're good.
all of those
We're good.
dates, yeah.
Yes.
So all those dates
Yes.
would be good. But yeah,
Yes.
lockdown people just on the weekend, be happy with your family, clean up that thing, that you've been wanting to clean up for a long time, or just chillax and watch this broadcast over and over and over and over again. Okay. All right. Olajuwon Burnett, otherwise known as OJ. As we know, we lost a great medicine man in Harris Burnett, and but his legacy, his teachings, his doing the song, dance, and prayer continues right here with Olajuwon, young man there. And so we're fortunate to have him. Chairwoman, you want to say anything to him before he starts his prayer?
The data no hindi you do ha era. And I showed that Dick on con you still ha era. The floor is yours if you want to tell the people a little bit of something that is on your mind, or you can go directly into prayer. Thank you so much for offering to do this. Cool. Ay no haan le okahi hindi the Asian nightly and
Go ahead, OJ.
Okay, my name's OJ. Very honored to be here and be part of Chairwoman show here. Information going on about COVID to the people out there. Mask up. Be careful what you touch. Your face. Wear your face mask wherever you go. Wash your hands. Sanitize. We lost a lot of lives out there. One recently. May from this day forward that we all stand unity, prayer for one another, for yourself, for your family. Very hard times going on here. But thank you. But listen to the protocols that are given out. It's like what I recall my late uncle would say sometimes. Your life costs a lot, even if you feel like you're not healthy. Like iyan na gashan de. Ni da sani oli. Dio na ilti senet saya. Chenawa ye. Sang ye obe chenawa. Ka chol dawal di bit aja. Sang vida hara rausli. Ni gantan kes. Ni don chikla. Ban o tsa. Sa harash a tsaya. Danatsos. Nanazana Jesus Christ. Nastani ya nagana. Te ititnera altenet tsaya. Nina. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. Nice tinet ya. Like this and for harash he like kaut ya. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. Ke ya 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 ne ya 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 ne ya 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 ne ya ngai ne ya ayo sen la ya ne ya ngai ne ya ke ya 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 ne ya 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 ne ya 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 ne ya ngai ne ya ke yo sen la ya ne ya ngai ne ya ko anjanosh kanga ayo sen la ya ne ya ngai ne ya ke ya ya ne ya ne ya ne ya ngai ne ya ke ya ne ya ne ya ne ya ngai ne ya ayo sen la ya ne ya ngai ne ya ho ye yo no wa yo sha da anjanosh kanga ayo sen la ya ne ya ngai ne ya ke ya ne ya ne ya ne ya ngai ne ya ke ya ne ya ne ya ne ya ngai ne ya ayo sen la ya ne ya ngai ne ya na otlok na wa yo sha da anjanosh ngai ne ya ayo sen la ya ne ya ngai ne ya ke ya ne ya ne ya ne ya ngai ne ya ke ya ne ya ne ya ne ya ngai ne ya ayo sen la ya ne ya ngai ne ya ko anjanosh kana ayo sen la ya ne ya ngai ne ya da anjanosh kana ayo sen la ho ya ne ya ngai ne ya kadishin tan shada Harris Burnett Ozesha tan ya ku kan be horo tan ya da no fin de no fo kan da wali no fo tla da wali da ro kan tan ya da Asian na fo tan de chi ku be horo tan ya jole ke hondan shita yosin that's what yana no stan auza ya de shil auza no stan el tije hal kabi ya yu bi ya darastin ba shenet la anda lindi bi chalataya شو كان شهنتن بيا كاي كريستيو إجون التوج الدين في يادر وأرض ولستان كوتس لكايسي أنيو كايو يوسم بيجو وانيو إجون التو بيا كيو ولا تانيا هاي كابيا يو إكايش كيني كاي نايلندا نفيفي كهي هاو نستان بيا ناول كارلي كو بيا وجون التو نفيا ناول كارلي إجون التو إتن نفيا نروز لال نفان سندول التانيا كو دوما نفيان إيرو لستلكايسي أنيا inde tate dawli shabiyan iro lelta fitunde no viyan aros lenda ko na haj na viyan aros liro les biyan gojon este biyan eri ki iro lestan ya an deo yo bich na wa choba na arel di tait i na ga ko sa de bich indi ichagos kan sa ko ben liro lestan ya tuna ai bi ge ke diri tlai ke yosen bi i si udi bi ke diri tlai yo bel ko jon el ben awal shan sento le tanya Benazakensi Jonsteo Benazakenso Shan Sentolestanya Jonsteo Villanerol Dindoles Jonst eighteen Villaneroslal Shan Sentolestanya Kunde Nestani Kubisto Villagojo Dolestanya de culture dawal di sanatlesha bitat kiji itadares like eho Villanerol de ku bitala bayo inde Villagojon itin Villaneroslal isitin dashindi da wa Villagojon Villanere kayo Villagojon steo Villa itin Villaneroslal na finde Villagojo dolestanya shabiyan Villanerol de doles Dajna Yanaro Disha Dajlina Han Disha ku Villagojon steo Villanere tirolestanya Villagojon de shabiyan iroles Hasetirin de ze wayunde da narazi shabiyan I Villanerol de doles Jon ste ya kiri iroles no Villan irolestanya ko Joro lesna ko yosen shita Vikahodan Nanazana Sanatlesha Tuna Aishin Shkan Washti ko Kubia Gojoro Lestaya Jo Amen.